take the words of these Battle.net forum users, Steve, bringing the information to the people so they could discuss it. I have someone who has a lot to say, and I want to bring his concerns to our attention. Now, these people and their grammar. I'm talking, of course, you know him. You might love him. You've sympathized in the past. I'm talking about Killvious. Now, let's think about it. I was all for most of this until I started reading Protoss. I think Terran needs buffed, and it's about time. Zerg needed its nerf. We all knew this, but I don't understand much of the thought process behind Protoss nerfs. A lot of what they did isn't even like, hey, this unit is just weaker or stronger like they did for the other races. It's a lot of, hey, you have to build this and upgrade this if you want to actually use this unit for its intended purpose. It changes build orders and play styles and throws them completely out of the window, which I feel like is a bit excessive. No one's winning early game, mid game with just charge lots as good as they can be. Okay, seeming pretty reasonable right now. That's it's surprising. I'd rather you have taken a few damage off charge instead of making it where I can't go useful charge timings, which was a viable early mid game aggressive plan, or even just hold, especially against Zerg, before letting them get to late game, because of course they still hold this. I mean, I have to even have charge before I can get +8. That seems even more ridiculous than doing both at the same time with just 2 Twilights. But yeah, no more Immortal Sentry all-ins or harass with charge louts anymore. I'm not sure how that has to do with Immortal Sentry, but we're just going to let Zerg get to late game for free now. And then, on the Terran side of things, they literally buffed every unit that's in front of my base within 5 minutes. Medevacs, Ravens, Vikings, Liberators, which make that fast Colossi hold a lot tougher. But then to take charge from us, too. I love going charge first if I saw aggression. It didn't always hold, but it gave me a solid chance. It seems a bit much, but that's okay. We can play around and learn and better ourselves. But then you get to the buffs, and that's what really got me. A speed upgrade for the useless Void Ray. Great! Just what we needed. Oh, and another useless upgrade for another useless mid-game unit, because nothing you do to the Adept will be useful after what you did for EMP, which is why no one's playing Adept Phoenix anymore. It just seems like we got hit with one hella bad nerf that is going to change a lot for early mid-game toss builds / play styles, and the way we hold or even get aggressive, and they pay us back by giving us more buffs in the form of useless upgrades for useless units. Adept mid to late is useless right now, and no one's playing Void Rays for a reason, and no speed upgrade is fixing that. I have never posted anything about balance on here, but this one just made me hella sad. Terran can just send their stronger units to our base, no build order changes needed, but we have to go above and beyond for one upgrade that makes a unit as good as it is out of the gate today, therefore making it not reliable as a hold to aggressive Terran playstyles, and it's not like my Colossi got much better at holding either of those with T-buffs. I don't know, I guess it got me because it doesn't seem like the other races will have to change a ton to their early mid-game plan, but we will have to go without charge against Z and T, knowing against T that those units are already tough to hold are getting buffed. We needed that game plan against Zerg players because they excel in late game. Maybe they won't as much moving forward, but as of right now they do. And we needed a healthier charge timing against Terran, especially now that you're buffing everything they can make in like 5 minutes and send to my base. My complaint is mostly about the matchup against T now. I think charge isn't a huge factor early game against Zerg when you aren't concerned about how bonkers their late game is and can constantly feel like you need to win now. Late game just got nerfed, so big relief on that. But for T, it just seems like you're encouraged more 2-base all-in, since essentially you just buffed the same game plan they now have instead of encouraging them to go into a longer game. The article said you want to make it harder for Toss to defend their early third against T, but Terrans are still getting aggressive on you while you're at 2 bases, and yeah, a lot of us will just have to get better, but all you did was improve aggression way further, which isn't exactly changing how Terran plays, and that's where Terran was broken. They 2-base all in a lot of, like they are Protoss and HOTS or something. I guess more shield batteries is the answer. How fun and interactive. I just won't understand it because as good as charge lots were, they were not broken. Protoss isn't winning every tournament with charge lots or in general. I don't get the huge Toss nerf when Toss really isn't anything special right now, not to mention you're stealing their early to mid-game identity and literally handing it to the other races. And no, it's not just about Zealots. They've, of course, hit the Warp Prism cost, Warp Time on Pylons, and Immortal changes. They just don't want early mid-game Protoss to be a thing anymore, so back to 4 gates and Cannon Rush, and it is. It's like literally every recent patch note for TOS has been against our early to mid game, which is our identity to a T, and it's not like we're getting anything in return for having this robbed from us. I'm sick of having to change build orders and playstyles every time a patch comes out, and when other races just keep building the same building in the same order and making the same units, they're either weaker or stronger straight up. I feel like I'm going to be jumping through hoops for charge, and that's insane to me. The Zealot is almost useless without it. The point is, presentation matters. He has a point. He was off base on some of it. I actually agree with most of what he said. Yeah, he actually had a good point. I agree. Unfortunately. But when you write like this, it's hard to agree with anything. He essentially said, why are you taking away early mid-game Protoss when that's the part they struggle with the most, especially against Terran? And then nerfing, and then buffing Terran at later stages when Protoss has a lesser early mid-game. Unfortunately, while his grammar and presentation was poor, his thought process actually wasn't that bad. So that's boring. Oh, he's back. It ends with rest in peace. I was like, somebody else wrote a wall of text. Nope, same guy. Yep, here we are again. It's not over. He's edited it 5 times. And this is what it ended up as. I usually get to the Zerg's base. His charge is finishing M+1, and it's still a bloodbath. No shot now if charge finishes when I get there. And I have to start +8, way to eliminate a whole strat over a unit that was never broken and is not winning tournaments single-handedly like some Zerg units I can name. As for the T side of things, we typically take Blink first, but fast aggression I take charge first, and that's hella out the window. Now Black to Blink as only the first upgrade against T no matter what. Very fun, interactive. Make sure you're building more batteries, because that's clearly Blizzard's answer. Beyond sad that I came back to the game after 4 years, and that was even deemed a necessary building in the first place, not to mention they had to give it to the X early to mid-game boss race. Balance your game. A building like a shield battery should not even have to exist in the first place for a race like Protoss. But then you deem it necessarily while nerfing our early to mid game. None of this makes any sense. We don't even have a late game LOL, and your attempts at giving us one like Adept upgrade and Void Ray Fleet Beacon upgrade is so pathetic it's unbearable. I went back and reread this. Congratulations. And wanted to add that it was hysterical that we can't even do a proper charge lot drop like we used to anymore. It's like they encourage us to sit behind shield batteries because they are taking away our early to mid game, and then they take away our ability to harass while behind those batteries. Man, I am really thinking now might be the time to learn T or just fall off for another 4 years. I've never had Banana Lance issues, but Blizzard really seems like they want to kill P as much as possible in 2019. Unfortunately, he is all of the walls of text. Jesus Christ. We literally had one. This has 2 edits. We literally had 1 unit. We could just let go and walk away from the Zealot with charge. But that got nerfed because A-move complainers who also A-move on their races but pretend like they don't. I literally just watched a video where you can A-move a Zerg army into the base. The dude was in GM and just walked away after he clicked A-move. This might have been my video. And the other guy quit. But yeah, nerf charge lots because they don't require micro or attention. Okay, I'm not winning the game by sending units into people's bases and walking away from my PC though, LOL. Literally watched a Vibe tutorial. That sounds more accurate. Where he literally teaches you how to take your first roach aggressive army, A-move it into the base, and literally encourages you to leave it alone, let it do its job. There's also a Vibe video where he essentially coins the term zombie toss by doing the same thing with a Protoss army. But And keep building in your base. But yeah, the Zealot is so non-interactive and needed nerf because micro, even though tosses 99% every unit on a different hotkey, cause spells LaMail, right? I'm serious. I need to get out of these forums or take a break. The more I look at it, the more laughable Blizzard is, honestly. And I've never in 20 years on StarCraft have ever posted about balance anywhere. It's just becoming too easy to call Blizzard out on their nonsense. Enjoy your ZVZs and ZVTs in every finals until they learn their lesson. Bane lines and Lings versus Bane lines and Lings. So much fun interaction. Let's look for the original posters. I need one original poster who isn't Mr. Killvious, because he comes from a good place, but he's gone down a dark path. Malin's team. Yeah, fuck off, Protoss.